Hello learners, and welcome back to the next class about tribes of Mizoram. This is from the course BSW 044. Now before we continue, I would like to have a small recap of what we did in the previous session. In the previous session, we learned about the tribes of Mizoram, its population, including about the scheduled tribes composition in the state. We also highlighted the major tribes in Mizoram and studied in detail the Lusei tribes and its practice and customs. We also discussed the Pawi tribe and their tradition and cultural practices. Now, we will go ahead and understand more about the other tribes in Mizoram. Let us look at the Lakher, that is the Mara tribe. The Lakher, known as the Mara people, are recognized scheduled tribes in India, native to northeastern India, primarily in the Mara Autonomous District Council of the state of Mizoram, where they form the majority of the population. Significant numbers of Maras are also found living southeastern part of Myanmar in Chin state and Rakhine state, which borders the district. They were earlier known as the Lakher by outsider, as their neighbors, the Lusei, called them by that name. And the new name Mara was inserted in list of scheduled tribes in Mizoram state in 1978, replacing the old name. According to the census of India 2011, the total population of the Lakher tribe in Mizoram is approximately 42,855. That is 4.13% of the total population of Mizoram. At present, there are 50 villages and 59 village councils within the Mara Autonomous District. The Lakhers or the Maras were in early period known to the outside world under different tribal names such as Mara, Lakher, Shendu or Shendo, or Maring, Zhu or Zhao or Zhou, Losai, Khongjai, etc. The Lakhers, Maras, occupy the southern portion of Mizoram, the hill tracts situated in the areas of Indo-Myanmar border. In 1922, the whole region occupied by them was divided into different parts among the three districts, that is, the Lusei Hills, the Chin Hills and the Arkan Hills tracts. From 1924, the Lakhers or the Maras villages which had fallen to the Lusei Hills had been administered as part of the district under the Chief Commissioner of Assam. In 1953, the Lakher area of the erstwhile Lusei Hills was loosely amalgamated with the Lai area to create an autonomous region under the name Pau Lakher region under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. After the reorganization of Northeast India in 1972, the Pau Lakher Regional Council was trifurcated into the Lai, Mara and Chakma Autonomous District Council, and Saiha is the capital of the Mara Autonomous District Council. The Lakher tribes are an offshoot of the Kuki-Chin group of Tibeto-Burmese family. Though nothing definite is known about their original home, their ancestral homeland is believed to have been somewhere in southern China. They migrated from there via Tibet, entering the hills of northern Burma and settled for some time in the Chin Hills. It is generally believed that they have settled in the land now occupying for about 3 centuries. The migration of the Lakhers can be traced with some degree of certainty, and the original homeland of at least 3 of these groups, that is like the Longsai, Hauthai and Sabeo, can be posited. The Longsai migration began in Leisai, that is between Leitak and Zabhai. The original homeland of the Hauthai is believed to have been Chira in Hakka. The Sabeo are found in Chapi, but it is believed that they migrated to their location from Tlatla, which is near Hakka. Before the advent of British imperial domination, inter-village conflict was the Lakher norm. Individual Lakher villages fought against one another and against neighboring peoples, for example, the Kumis and Chins. The relationship between the British and the Lakhers was characterized by intermittent conflict extending from the middle of the 19th century to 1924, at which all the Lakher tribes were brought under British control. British rule brought about political and economic stability to the region. Villages enjoyed a period of internal and external security, slavery was eliminated, and a new market for sale of surplus goods appeared, with a resulting shift from barter to currency as a medium of exchange. This marked the beginning of the demise of the village chief's power and authority. Now, with the advent of Indian Home Rule, the political structure of the Lakher region was reorganized. An administrative structure was established for the Lusai Hills, to which the Lakher region sends one representative, and a regional council for the Pawi Lakher region, to which the Lakher region is permitted to send 4 delegates. The office of village chief has been eliminated, and the Lakhers are gradually being assimilated into the mainstream of Indian life as citizens of Mizoram state. Each Lakher subgroup speaks their own dialect. However, the Losai Saiha dialect is used as lingua franca by all the Lakhers. Only the educated Lakher can speak Lusai language and English, while a few of them understand and speak Hindi. The literacy rate among the Lakhers is 81.93%, which is quite impressive and contributes significantly to the good standing of Mizoram state in terms of literacy. The Mara Autonomous District Council is the responsible body for the preservation and promotion of the Mara language, and as such, within the Mara Autonomous District Council jurisdiction, Mara language is used as the medium of instruction in the elementary schools up to class 6. The Lakher tribe consists of 5 principal subgroups: Losai Saiha, Zaiho, Hothai, Chapi and Vyutu. Each subgroup occupied separate territory since the time of settlement in the present location. Each of this subgroup again consists of many more clans. Prior to the advent of Christianity among the Lakher, the society exhibited a 3-tier hierarchy. At the top were the Abe Fozi or the chief clan, followed by Fuzozi or patrician clans, and at the bottom are the Machefo or commoner clans. According to N. E. Parry, who authored a book entitled The Lakhers, there are 5 chief clans such as Rilcho, Choza, Chalchai or Fachai, Bohia and Noro, while the Fozozi consists of 16 clans. The Lakher area is mostly rural in character, with the exception of a few towns such as Saiha, the district capital and headquarters of the Mara Autonomous District Council, Tuipang and Kualchau. This shows the majority of the Lakhers live in the rural area. The Lakher villages are characterized by the bond of kinship and close ties. The prevalent form of family in the Lakher society is nuclear family. After marriage, a couple normally tries to set up its own household. The Lakher tribe follows patrilocal residence after marriage. Being a patrilineal descent group, the father is the head of the family in the Lakher society. Regarding inheritance, the Lakher normally followed primogeniture, where the eldest son inherits the family properties. A cordial relationship is maintained among the family members. The parents, as well as all elderly persons in the family, receive respect from the younger generation. The children normally respect their parents and their elder brother. Monogamy is the usual form of marriage among the Lakhers even before becoming Christians, though the chiefs and patrician clans practice polygamy. Marriages were customarily arranged, and there are 2 types of marriage: marriage involving the chief clans and that of the other clans. The marriage involving the chief clans were more complicated and much more expensive than the marriage involving ordinary folk. Generally, the bride price among the Lakhers is very high, and still those from the chief clans and other higher clans were much more substantial than the commoner clans. At present, the bride price of a Lakher girl may be approximately estimated to be more than 10,000 rupees in cash and in kind, while those of the neighbors, such as the Lusais, are ranging from rupees 300 to 500 in cash and in kind only. The Lakher tribe follows patrilineal descent, and traditionally, the inheritance of family property usually rests on the eldest son, who not only inherits all of the family property but also has to pay his father's debt if there was any. However, the youngest son also has a right to inherit some of the family property. Sons other than the eldest and the youngest, have no claim whatsoever on the family property. With the advent of missionaries in 1907, the Lakers have embraced Christianity, and by 1959, the entire Lakher population in Mizoram had converted to Christianity, which brought about many significant changes in their society and culture. They ceased their raiding and plundering habits. They were also freed from the various traditional superstitious beliefs and practices and from the sense of oppression by the evil spirits. There were also tremendous changes in the social life of the Lakhers, who are now not only wearing Western dresses but also adopted many of the Western ethos and value system. However, this does not imply that they discarded their entire customs and tradition. They still retain some of them. Now, after having understood about the Lakher tribe, let us move ahead and understand the Chakma tribe. The Chakmas, also known as the Changma, are the second largest scheduled tribes in Mizoram, constituting 9.35% of total scheduled tribes population. Their area of settlement in Mizoram is mainly confined to the southwestern and western side of the state bordering Tripura state and Bangladesh. The Chakmas have been bestowed with an autonomous district council from 1972 under the 6th schedule to the constitution in order to safeguard their cultural and traditions. The headquarters of the Chakma Autonomous District Council is Kamlanagar or Chongte in southwestern part of Mizoram. They are certainly a group of more recent immigrants into Mizoram from the Chittagong Hill tracts of Bangladesh. On the basis of their physiognomic features and linguistic affinity, anthropologists and linguists appear to agree that they belong to the Tibeto-Burmese group of Mongolian race. They are not a distinct tribal group found only in Mizoram, but the greater number of them are residing in Chittagong Hill tracts of Bangladesh, Tripura, and small number of them in Arunachal Pradesh as well. Chakma language, known as the Chakma Vaj or Chakma Koda, is an Indo-European language and part of the southeastern Bengali branch of Eastern Indo-Aryan. Many linguists now consider the modern Chakma language as part of the southeastern Bengali branch of Eastern Indo-Aryan language. Some authors claimed that they have dropped their original Tibeto-Burmese language and adopted a variant of Bengali language. The Chakmas officially follow the Southern or Theravada form of the Buddhism, but their form of Buddhism has some aspect of Hinduism and traditional religion, as they also worship Hindu deities. Lakshmi, for example, is worshipped as the goddess of the harvest. Almost every Chakma village has a Buddhist temple. Buddhist priests or monks, who are called bhikkhus, preside at religious festivals and ceremonies. The villagers support their monks with food, gifts, and offerings to Buddha. The presence of traditional religious practice in the form of Buddhism followed by the Chakmas can be inferred from the fact that they offer the sacrifice of goats, chickens, or ducks to calm the spirits that are believed to bring fevers and disease. Even though animal sacrifice is totally against Buddhist beliefs, the Chakma Buddhist priests perform this religious tradition. The Chakma society is divided into a number of clans or gojas, which are further subdivided into subclans. They follow strict endogamy within their tribe, and marriage within the same clans or subclans is considered as a serious offense. Parents arrange marriages, although the wishes of sons and daughters are taken into account. A bride price is fixed when the two families negotiate the marriage. In recent years, the bride price have been reduced to a symbolic ritual practice. The marriage ceremony is known as Chumulong and is performed by Buddhist priests. If young people elope, the marriage can be formalized on payment of fines. Polygyny is acceptable but rare, and remarriage after the death of a spouse is also allowed. Chakma families exhibit both nuclear and extended types. Today, the nuclear type of family is increasingly becoming popular. The senior member of the family, such as the father, mother, and elder brother and his wife, are respected by the younger children and siblings. It is obligatory on part of the elder brother to take care of the unmarried and dependent younger sisters and brothers, especially after the death of the father. The rule of inheritance among the Chakmas follows that each son receive equal share. Nowadays, a father who owns a property may give a share not only to each of his sons but also to the daughters at his own discretion. The eldest male son occupies the headship of the family after the death of his father. In Mizoram, Chakma population is primarily concentrated in rural areas and only 0.8% of them reside in urban areas. This indicates the low level of development among the Chakmas. The capital of the Chakma Autonomous District Council, Kamlanagar or Chongte, is the only recognizable town within the Chakma inhabited area in Mizoram. The traditional and primary occupation is agriculture, typified by a mixture of shifting and semi-permanent cultivation. There is no ownership of land, but Chakma custom holds that no one should interfere with fields that indicate signs of activity by someone else already. Some Chakmas have given up their farming lifestyles and have entered the labor market. Those fortunate enough to have the necessary education have gone on to clerical and other white-collar jobs. However, the vast majorities of them remained poor and were unable to leave their traditional occupation of farming due to lack of employment opportunities and educational facilities in the Chakma inhabited area. According to the Census of India Report 2010, Chakma tribe has registered the lowest literacy of 45.3% among the tribes of Mizoram. Male and female literacy among them stood at 56.2% and 33.6% respectively. Now, with this we come to the end of the session. But before I come to the end, I would like to sum up what have been talked about. The state of Mizoram today is a predominantly tribal state. Most of the tribes of Mizoram belong to the Kuki-Chin group of Tibeto-Burmese family. The vast majorities of the tribes of Mizoram are cognate tribes and speak language or dialects which are closely related, and almost all of them have become Christians, which also paved the way for the mutual understanding and cooperation among these tribes despite their antagonism in the pre-Christian days. However, the Chakmas stood out in high relief amongst these tribes because of the fact that they profess Buddhism and the level of educational and other socio-economic performances are still relatively low among the Chakmas. With this, we come to the end, and I hope you had a good learning experience. Thank you.